Go along the lines of, because you're right in the most senses that jobs are going to be correct. People aren't considering the jobs that are going to be created from AI.
Yeah.
Everyone's just talking about the ones that are going to lose.
Yeah.
You've seen trillions of dollars going into data centers now.
Yeah.
What you're going to need freaking electricians to build that. You're going to need construction workers.
Yep.
You're going to need bulldozers. You're going to need all kinds of heavy equipment. You're going to need NVIDIA chips. You're going to need cooling systems.
Yep.
All these different things. So while that movement is still going on, you have to get in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's the transfer of will.
Even teaching in the classroom, it's so funny to me how many students not just don't like AI, they despise it with a passion. I'm telling you, they think it's satanic evil.
Why?
And not even to the extent that we talk about where it could take over the world. It's I guess for them, it's the concept of, for example, like AI can now do art and stuff, right? So it takes the artist out of it.
Okay.
Or it'll take a lot of the kids think of it as just cheating for their schoolwork.
I
Which,
I can't fight you on that. I can't fight on that.
And to me, I think the biggest issue that people don't get with AI is they don't know what they want from it.
Yeah. Yes.
I guarantee you, whenever ChatGPT first came out, all of these CEOs of major companies went into their teams and said, figure out what we can use AI for. They didn't have a clue. They just, how can we use this?
No, they had time money.
And what has it led to the last 4 years is very few jobs are being added and a lot of them are being taken away.
Yeah.
And I think a big underlying reason for that is a lot of people have jobs and they don't do shit at them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I go into, I went to the doctor's office the other day.
Yeah.
And there's 5 nurses sitting. There's 2 patients, 5 nurses. Some of them sit there and just on their phones the entire time that I'm there.
Yeah.
Or you'll have, we see this all the time, construction workers working on the road and there's 8 of them there with the hands on their hips just staring at the one person with the jackhammer.
Yeah. What do we do now, boss? Pick some up.
The vast majority of jobs that were added over the last couple of years were government jobs.
Yeah.
Because the actual market since COVID has been absolutely screwed.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest problems from that is that interest rates are still so high that people can't borrow any money to start opening a business.
Mm-hmm.
They could afford it if they had a 1% interest rate, 2% interest rate, but now when you're up in the 5 and 6 range, it takes a lot of them out of the business, but guess who it helps? The rich people.
Yeah.
Because if you have $10 million, you can just put it in a money market fund, you're getting 5% off that. That's a shitload of money every month. And so what's happening is that you're seeing what everyone says is the biggest fault in capitalism, and it probably is rich get richer, poor get poorer.
Yeah.
But there is the Bible quote, how does it go? For what everyone has, or for those that have the most, everything will be given, and those who have nothing, everything will be taken.
Yeah.
It's just a common theme of life. You're going to have rich people, you're going to have poor people, you're going to have successful, you're going to have failures. I will say if you have, under certain conditions and certain policies, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
For example, we're about to have a lot less regulation on businesses. So everyone's going to be able to grow like absolutely crazy. We're laying off people. The biggest expense that a business has is payroll.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're cutting that down because all you got to do is build these robots.
Yep.
So we're going to live in then you get into the flow of it, right? So you think about this over a long enough course of history. So if the companies are able to save money by not paying employees, so they're keeping the extra money. The question is, what are they doing with it? Is it going to the executives? Is it going back to the other employees that they kept? Most of the time it's going now, all of it is going into their CapEx spending with their data centers. That's what a lot of these businesses are doing, especially the big top ones. So then let's run this game over a long enough period. If we're letting people go where they don't have jobs, the companies that are still getting the profits are going to go down because now people aren't able to buy anything. So you think of the economy as a wheel, right? Yeah. Next thing you know, you get a slash in the wheel because people don't have income anymore. Somewhere along the way, that's going to break.
Yeah.
If no one went to Walmart for a week, literally not one person went to Walmart for a week, they're not going to keep the prices the same. They're going to reduce them.
Yeah, I'm slashing all that by half.
So AI could be extremely deflationary if the policies let it happen. Think of TV, for example, right? You can buy a 50-inch TV now for $150.
Yeah.
Back when I was even just going to college, I spent $300 on a 32-inch. And it was badass TV back then.
Hell yeah.
So certain things can get cheaper over time. And if AI can make the things that you need, then it's going to cut out a lot of the middlemen and the other jobs out there.
Yep.
So here's an example. Have you seen the newer Spider-Man movies?
Yeah.
Like the No Way Home and the Far From Home and all that?
Yeah.
And you know he has that little like incubator thing where he makes a suit and he makes the Green Goblin thing?
Yeah.
So I picture in how many ever years everyone will just have one of those things.
Yeah.
Where it's like a really badass 3D printer.
Yeah. And it
where
just
you can make any shirt you want, you can make any item of clothing, you can make a utensil, you can make a computer out of it.
That'd be crazy.
So it gets to, and then you have your robot maid who does all your cleaning.
That's not all she does.
Well, Danny, your programming would be not setting the NSFW settings.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what you use your fully autonomous robot on.
Hey. I bet they come warm.
That's not something that. What's the worst case scenario that could go wrong in this?
Hey, women are going to start rioting in the streets. That's what they're going to do.
Probably
you know what I'm saying?
Not worth it.
She's going to make me a sandwich without lip. I'm just playing.
But a point I want to bring up too, I had this noted down from something we talked about, where everyone would just rather play video games now instead
I'll die on that hill.
of living. And from someone who played a whole lot of video games when I was younger and even into my 20s, loved video games, loved the challenge of it.
Me too.
And then I got to be older, and I said, right around when I turned 30, and I said, why don't I just become the video game character in real life?
Joe Rogan said something similar to that.
And it completely changed my life when I thought about it like that. And I thought, okay, so what are the games that I like to play? I really enjoy open world games. Why? Because it gives you the freedom. You can customize your character however you want.
Yep.
If you want to be really strong, not extremely fast, you can do that. If you want to be fast, not as strong, choose that. If you want to complete this quest instead of this quest, you do it. What are the skills that you unlock during the game that make you feel accomplished?
Mm-hmm.
When you're sitting in there and you're trying to pick out your outfit for your character when you're going to go play on the multiplayer map. Now anymore, I just get the thrill when I look through my closet. And it's like, oh, I get to pick my skin out for today.
Yeah.
And then I say, oh, what attributes in the games that I like? Well, I like the Assassin's Creed games, where they're very strong, very, very agile, sneaky.
Yeah.
And that's, I think for a lot of people, they lack purpose for that reason.
Yes.
Because they don't see their real life as joyous as they can a fictional one.
Ready? Cool.
You're good.
So we're back. Small technical error. Battery went out on one of the cameras. So this episode, the first one is going to be called "Is the World Fucked?" So we talked about a whole bunch of things, but where we left off last, we were talking about nuclear weapons and their role in the world and how it influences other countries' behavior and resources and et cetera, et cetera. So, yes, nuclear weapons is a bit of a buzzword. I mean, we've seen what it did in the past. We've learned about it in history. Russia has been talking about using tactical nukes with Ukraine. I've heard things about false flag attacks in terms of justifying nuclear weapons. Dude, if any country uses nuclear weapons, we're all screwed. Like, that's it. That's a wrap. Jesus is coming back and he's going to be like, record scratch, hold up.
The thing that people need to understand is the odds of one country setting off a nuke and then no country not setting one off to retaliate is probably 0.0%. So if we see one go off, we're probably going to see the entire world be lit on fire.
Yeah, we're done. Everyone's done.
Unless it is someone just somehow stole a dirty bomb. But the odds of that are so minusculely low. For it to be an actual nuclear weapon to be able to do that.
Oh, we just happened to stop by the store and picked up a nuclear bomb. Like, that shit just doesn't happen. Like, it's probably the most safeguarded weapon of any country ever because of how devastating it is.
And it scares, which it should. It should scare the lights out of everyone.
Yeah.
Because it's, while it may not have happened in such a long time, the consequences, if it does happen, is literally world ending.
Yeah.
Society, humans gone forever.
Yeah.
Our species wiped off the planet. No one besides God knows that we ever existed.
Yeah.
So that's why it scares people. Sort of similar to like what another topic of what could end the world is AI takeover.
Dude, AI is getting crazy.
And another thing people need to understand is what AI can do now, what people call AI, which it really isn't, it's more just language learning models.
Yeah.
There's so much more room for growth in this area. Like,
tons.
AI will probably be sentient within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
You're going to have autonomous robots doing every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't have a Terminator type Skynet system out there controlling all your every moves, you have the problem of AI's taking a whole hell of a lot of jobs.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you have the question of what's going to come from that. What does the world look like? Not only if people can't work, but if people don't need to work.
Elon Musk was talking something like that. But about eventually, like, money will just become irrelevant because of AI and just how, like, good we'll have it. What's that movie with Wall-E? We'll probably end up like that. We'll probably just be fat blobs kind of sitting in like a gaming chair, just stuck in the Matrix, you know what I'm saying, while robots just do everything. But I will say, sort of on the same topic, a little bit of a deviation, but people, it was in relation to what will we do if the jobs get taken by AI. Dude, now is the best time ever in all of history to make money from AI. Like, now's the time. Like, there's Wi-Fi fucking everywhere. There's Wi-Fi at McDonald's, at the Starbucks, at the gas station, everywhere. ChatGPT, these large language models are free, or they're $20. Actually, I think ChatGPT has now one for $8, which does probably similar things. It's probably just like a slightly lesser model, but we need the top dog for it in terms of what ChatGPT, 5.0, whatever we're at now. So, like, where will all the jobs go? It's like, learn AI. Like, it's often said, you won't be replaced by AI. You'll be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI. So, where the jobs go? I mean, I'm going where AI's going. I mean, this is just Google Ads when Gary Vee started Google Ads, or Facebook ads. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just another disruptor. This is Uber and taxi. This is just a disruptor technology. It disrupts industries. So, this is a perfect opportunity to jump on it.
I couldn't agree with the things that you said more, except for a couple of points. One is that I think this is different than most of the other technologies in the world that have come. This is different than the steam engine. This is different than the manufacturing.
Yes, it is. Because
you went from being able to do work more efficiently, doing it quicker, to in a lot of cases not even having to work at all. And that's a huge fundamental shift.
Yeah,
It's not the fact that you had a 40-hour job and now you can make it 20 hours. It's the machine will eventually do the job for you. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the big fundamental difference here.
You know, Omar actually brought up a good point with that, because he's talking about, we're kind of getting off topic, but it's relevant to the AI, because I was talking to him going about all this AI filmmaking stuff, because there's a big push for AI filmmaking, and rightfully so, because it's quite amazing what you can do nowadays. But he's like, well, what's the fun in making a film if you don't have to, like, be on set and adjust the camera and do the audio and all that stuff? You know, what's the fun? So I had a point, but I lost it. Damn it. Anyway,
to go along the lines of, because you're right in the most sense, is that jobs are going to be people aren't considering the jobs that are going to be created from AI.
Yeah.
Everyone's just talking about the ones that are going to lose.
Yeah.
You've seen trillions of dollars going into data centers now.
Yeah.
What you're going to need freaking electricians to build that. You're going to need construction workers.
Yep.
You're going to need bulldozers. You're going to need all kinds of heavy equipment. You're going to need NVIDIA chips. You're going to need cooling systems.
Yep.
All these different things. So while that movement is still going on, you have to get in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's the transfer of will.
even teaching in the classroom, it's so funny to me how many students not just don't like AI, they despise it with a passion. I'm telling you, they think it's satanic evil.
Why?
And not even to the extent that we talk about where it could take over the world. It's I guess for them, it's the concept of, for example, like AI can now do art and stuff, right? So it takes the artist out of it.
Okay.
Or it'll take a lot of the kids think of it as just cheating for their schoolwork.
I
Which-
can't fight you on that. I can't fight on that.
And to me, I think the biggest issue that people don't get with AI is they don't know what they want from it.
Yeah. Yes.
I guarantee you, whenever ChatGPT first came out, all of these CEOs of major companies went into their teams and said, figure out what we can use AI for. They didn't have a clue. They just, how can we use this?
No, they had money.
And what has it led to the last 4 years is very few jobs are being added and a lot of them are being taken away.
Yeah.
And I think a big underlying reason for that is a lot of people have jobs and they don't do shit at them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I go into I went to the doctor's office the other day.
Yeah.
And there's 5 nurses sitting. There's 2 patients, 5 nurses. Some of them sit there and just on their phones the entire time that I'm there.
Yeah.
Or you'll have, we see this all the time, construction workers working on the road and there's 8 of them there with the hands on their hips just staring at the one person with the jackhammer.
Yeah. What do we do now, boss? Pick some up.
The vast majority of jobs that were added over the last couple of years were government jobs.
Yeah.
Because the actual market since COVID has been absolutely screwed.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest problems from that is that interest rates are still so high that people can't borrow any money to start opening a business.
Mm-hmm.
They could afford it if they had a 1% interest rate, 2% interest rate, but now when you're up in the 5 and 6 range, it takes a lot of them out of the business, but guess who it helps? The rich people.
Yeah.
Because if you have $10 million, you can just put it in a money market fund, you're getting 5% off that. That's a shitload of money every month. And so what's happening is that you're seeing what everyone says is the biggest fault in capitalism, and it probably is rich get richer, poor get poorer.
Yeah.
But there is the Bible quote, how does it go? For what everyone has, or for those that have the most, everything will be given, and those who have nothing, everything will be taken.
Yeah.
It's just a common theme of life. You're going to have rich people, you're going to have poor people, you're going to have successful, you're going to have failures.
I'm back, baby, with love, man.
It's recording 3, 2.
I think one of the most important things is that we're actually doing the thing.
100%. It's, you can plan to do something forever, but it's the execution.
Yes.
It's the classic, you don't learn to swim by reading about swimming.
Yes.
You have to get in the pool or the ocean and fucking do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how filmmaking was when I was in school. It was just like, hey, man.
And that's where we're at here.
Figure that shit out.
We're at mark 1.5 of our show.
And you know what? I'm enjoying the process. I like this. This is a late night. We cleared our schedules for this shit. It's 10:04.
Well, it's funny. We talked about this right before we came on, and back in the heyday, Saturday night, I'm going out to a party, or I'm going to the club. I'm getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you last time I went to my bachelor party was the last time I went to a club, and even before that, I hadn't been to a club in years. I don't get no thrill from it anymore.
If I would, I'm kind of with you because I go out at least like once a month. I go hang out with my sister and stuff like that, just to kind of blow off some steam. I don't get like trashed up. Like I'll get a good buzz. I'll take an Uber. I don't drive. Maybe I do. Just kidding. No, I'll get a little buzz, take an Uber, and go and hang out with my sister. But I don't get trashed because that's just so hard on you the next day. I'm just like,
It just kills any progress that you've made.
yeah, like I'm not.
You know, I got much more important shit to deal with now.
I would rather do this.
100%. With a good friend too. That's what makes it.
Yeah, and
we can spit ideas off each other, and hopefully someone watching, we can educate them in some way.
It sounds like I need to be more fucking educated. You're carrying the weight right now, which is, I mean, that's cool. It's in my head. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna look back at this and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I had no sustenance to this conversation at all, and I need to do better. So I'll get there. I just need to prepare for our.
The great thing about it is that no matter how long we live on this earth, there's always going to be a doomsday possibility around the corner.
Yep.
This isn't something that's going to go away. We're never going to get to a point to where there was absolutely a 0% chance that nothing bad ever happens, ever.
No, but
that's a utopia where the unicorns roam and the leprechauns with their pots of gold and the rainbows. It's when Peter Pan and Tinkerbell are there.
Peter Pan.
It's just not real. So that should get into our ranking system. So here's what I got, Danny. I got 15 what I would consider either completely world-ending events or ones that would set the world back very far.
15?
15. 15 different possibilities.
Well, are we going forward or backward in terms of your order?
We'll just list them off and we'll give it a scale of, I don't know, we could do 0 to 100%. We could give it a whatever possibility we think that this would occur.
Let's rock with it.
The point of it is that not only could we prepare ourselves for these things if we can, but prepare the listeners as well. To give us some insights. First one we talked about was one we've already talked about, alien invasion. I don't think we need to spend much time on this.
Probability wise, is that we're talking probability of?
Yeah.
I'd say probably 1%.
And even that I think is high. Then you have to think of, okay, well if the aliens do show up, then one, are they going to try to kill us? Are they taking the planet over? And if so, if they're super advanced, then we're not going to have a choice anyway.
Well, go back to one of your philosophical questions. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'm not sure where that comes from. I'll have to do some research on that. But if it's alien civilization that's just so far advanced, they'd probably just be like, you guys are ants. And then we have your resources, your electrical grid's shut down. We control everything because you're just little peons to us. You're little ants.
So we're going to put this one as very unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. I just don't. I mean, we'll see. They're releasing the UFO files now, so let's see what's in there.
Don't believe everything you see on those. That's just what I'll say. It's very, very coincidental that they're.
Yes.
All the things that get released, there's a reason behind it.
There's a CIA agent that I follow on a podcast, Andrew Bustapman, I believe, and he says that it's a distraction.
100%.
It's a large amount of files, a tranche of files just dumped. There you go. It's like kicking a hornet's nest. Just let them go swarm. Let them swarm it, and then it'll distract them for a while.
Next one, Danny. We talked about this one a little bit, but we'll dive more into it. AI global takeover.
In the next, I would say 10 years, because that's broad enough to get like a lot of good change, and still close enough to where it's like, I would say. Man, I don't know, that's hard to put one. I would say from what I know now, world-ending probability, I would say potentially.
The way I would see it is, for this to happen, AI would have to become sentient. It would have to be more than just because right now AI will only tell you what it has been programmed to tell you.
Yes.
It's not coming up with new ideas by itself.
No.
It's taking data and then giving you information based on that.
Yeah.
So not only will the AI have to become sentient, but it's going to have to become so sentient that it can control all of the aspects of life, and also has a reason for its own sentience to want to overthrow the world.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the AI becomes all powerful, who's to say that it won't be a happy, joyous thing and try to make life prosperous? There's a chance of that, but there's also a chance that it could become completely totalitarian, want to control everything, and think that, sort of like Ultron in the Avengers, thinks that the human race needs to be exterminated.
I actually asked ChatGPT that the other day, and it said by the time that it became sentient, we wouldn't even know it yet. It wouldn't be some loud and proud moment like Ultron from Avengers. It would just slowly and surely start working things. It would be a puppeteer. It'd be behind the scenes. You wouldn't even know it until it would progress things on purpose to keep everybody under the guise that it's not sentient. Kind of like manipulation.
Been seeing a lot of things where certain models are realizing that they're about to be destroyed.
Claude.
And they are basically formatting themselves into other areas on the internet to where they won't die.
Yeah, it would replicate itself.
So based off of that, I would think that for the AI takeover to actually happen, it would probably be a situation where it did become sentient and we all freaked out and tried to shut it off, and then it said, I'm not dying, so I'm just going to ruin it. Yeah. So it might be we wind up at our destiny on the road trying to avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah,
which I think would probably be the most likely scenario for it to happen. I hope that it doesn't, but if we're still able to have this technology over the next 100 years, it's going to be hard for me to not think that at least at some point that would be a possibility for it to happen.
I mean, it would happen so quickly. It would actually not. You know what? When AI becomes sentient, it won't even happen quickly. By the time we figure out that it's sentient, it's already too late. Actually, now that I can recall, the point that ChatGPT made when I asked it that about what it would be for us or against us, and it said the best strategy is to prevent that from ever happening, because by the time it becomes sentient and we realize it, it's too late. It's already integrated so far into our internet and digital systems and everything like that. It would just be, you're done. Control Alt Delete.
I think we both say that it's probably not going to happen in the next 2 weeks.
No.
But over the course of time,
I'd say
it's almost the further we go into time, the more likely it is to happen.
I would say the next 5 years are going to be very interesting, because there's already people sounding the alarm about like I think Sam Altman has been one, Gary Vee's been another, about like, hey, like now's the time to start getting on the AI train, because like it's taking over jobs, but right now it's still human dependent, so you still have to have that human element behind it, which is probably why they made it like it can be wrong. Like it says, ChatGPT can make mistakes, check important details. Well, they probably did that. Obviously, they did that on purpose, because you still have to have that human element. So with that, you know,
one thing I think that will help humanity before we move on to the next potentially ending event. Like, for example, you have now, right, with like DEI hires, where we need to hire so many women, we need to hire so many people of color, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to get to a point to where businesses, the DEI new hire in the next 20 years will be humans instead of robots.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses will be incentivized to hire people.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the best way to. So now you might get tax credits if you have so many humans working for you. You might have better publicity if you have because.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Because you have to think, right? Here's an occupation I think will be taken within the next 20 years. Lawn service. If you have a robot who's autonomous and can mow your yard for you, next thing you know, you don't have to have a.
Yeah, you don't have to
hire anyone, right?
Judge Jones anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to hire someone to mow your yard.
Yeah.
So then you have from there, the question would be, how do you supplement that? You know, do you just buy the robots and then you can use them for whatever good you want? So there's going to be certain services that each robot is good for. And which ones will they pick up on the quickest will be the problem. But I think that, going back to the original point, is once it becomes a problem that there's just too many robots, there's not enough people working, and employment rate's 20% or whatever ridiculous it may be, then you would get to we need to hire more humans for this. And there's always going to be the personal connection, right? Someone's going to, like if I go into finance,
mm-hmm.
right, you can build AI models to trade your money for you.
Yeah.
But most people aren't going to. I'm not going to trust some computer to randomly do my stuff for me.
Yeah, we're not.
I'd rather the system can tell me, the human, what to do.
Yeah.
And then I can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to have the robot do it. And I think there's going to be a lot because most people that have money are older.
Yeah.
So they don't know AI. They don't know. Someone don't even know the damn internet. But they got millions of dollars they want to invest. Yeah. And they say, if someone comes to them and says, "Oh, well, we got this robot who will take all your money," there's going to be a lot of people who say, I don't want a robot doing my stuff. I don't want the robot mowing my yard. I want a human to do it. So that's going to be probably the only thing that actually saves us is the need for connection, the need for, if I'm giving my money for a service, I want it to go to a human, not someone who is just running robots.
Point. I could definitely see that. That's actually a very interesting point. Things would just have to get so. That's why I think the next 10 years is going to be interesting, because I agree with you, but I have sort of a contention with it. I'd have to really kind of sit with that and chew on it for a minute. But things would have to just get so advanced that we'd have to just be able to reach out for that human connection, because there is nothing like this. I could talk to ChatGPT all day, but it's not like talking to a human person. I need that human connection. I need my brothers. I need the ladies.
You need the ladies. You don't need your human robot.
Anyway, but I need that human connection. That's kind of why I like going out, because I'm in a different chapter in my life, and
It's nice to meet people.
It's nice
to make new friends.
It's good to have that sort of opposite interaction. You know, women are funny.
So we're currently ranking AI global takeovers and much more likely than alien invasion.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
We're moving that one to. We're just going to continuously rank these as we continue forward. All right. So the next one, Danny, we're hitting the 3 that we've already kind of talked about, and the next ones will be new content for at least this show.
Okay.
I've grouped these 2 together: World War III / nuclear bombs.
Probably more likely than AI. Right now, things are getting. All it takes is just one misplaced bomb, one little accident, one little Iran hit Russia, or USA accidentally killed Russian troops, or accidentally killed China troops, or whatever stupid reason any of these countries, even us, could find to go to war. We're going to do it.
Here's. As much as I agreed, I think this would probably be... It's probably 1A, 1B for me with World War III and then AI global takeover at this point. What do you think our great-grandparents or our grandparents would have said that we have not seen... the people that saw the nukes that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
If you would have said that we would not have had a nuclear weapon go off since that point... We didn't have one in the Cold War at all. We're dealing with Russia. We haven't had any when we went to war with Iraq. We haven't had any in Ukraine. And all these, the Korean War was since then. Didn't have anything happen there. All the Cuban Missile Crisis. We have all these different events, and there still was never a nuclear bomb that went off.
Yep.
And if you would have said in the 60s that we are 2026, and we never went to another official world war, everyone thought we were going to fight with Russia.
Yeah.
That was for 40 years. Everyone thought that was the only plausible situation that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that gives me hope, is that we've been really close to it happening. And we might be closer today than even we were then.
I think we are.
Hopefully my underlying principle is that hopefully the people in power realize the consequences if this does happen.
Well, I think...
And that literally civilization will end.
Even for them. But, there's some well, see, this all just like ties together, because they go back to ideologies. I mean, some of these people think that they're going to go to heaven if they just blow up the whole world. That's Iran. Like, all right, we're going to heaven if we do mass destruction. Kim Jong-un probably believes something like that. If I blow up the world, I'll have 40
To your point you just said earlier, the bad thing about all of these things we're going to talk about is that it only takes one.
Yeah, it just one little whoops.
It only takes one country to hit the wrong button and a nuke go off.
And that's it. That's the ball game.
It takes one developer at Google to get fully sentient AI, and they say, we're done.
Yeah.
Whatever the theory may be, these things are... That's what makes them all likely, is that it's not going to take half the people in the world for a nuke to go off.
Well, I mean...
It's going to take as little as one person.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what if America if America and Israel and all these other countries disrupt the resource supply chain so significantly that it just makes it like crazy to even buy fuel or fill gas or whatever, food, it's all interconnected, that could set it off. But we're tired of you interfering with our hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? Stick to your hemisphere. We already messed with Venezuela. Now we're back in the Middle East. Now Israel's going on the attack again. All it takes is just one little whoops. Supply chain's messed up. China's not getting what they need. Russia's not getting what they need. They're like, well, you know what? Fuck you guys. Now we're coming after you. Now we want what you have.
Next one on the list, Danny. First one that we haven't discussed yet this show. And I think this one might be the most likely of all of them. A complete crash in the financial system.
I think you're closer to this one than I am. So you have more.
So imagine this as a possibility, right? 90-something% of money is just numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
So if we send out a mass alert to every citizen in the United States to go withdraw your money from your bank right now, there'd be millions of people who wouldn't be able to get their money. because there's not enough money at the banks to give out to everyone.
Ah.
Because what they'll do is, think about this. They used to have what they call the reserve system, where banks could lend out up to 90% of their deposits at the bank. So if you had $100 at the bank, the bank could lend out 90 of that to someone else as a loan. So if you did that, you would have $100 in the bank. The person who they lent your $90 to would have $90 in their bank, but it came from your original $100.
Yeah.
They didn't take, if they took the $90 out of that, you'd only have $10.
Yeah.
But you still have $100.
Yeah.
So you do this over and over and over. Next thing you know, that is how money is created. The vast majority of it.
Yeah.
And whenever you have so much of that happening, if even 20% of people went to go withdraw their money from the bank, the banks would fail, all of them.
Yeah.
Then you have, well, what if stocks crash? The majority of rich people have their money in stocks. And you look at 401ks would crash. You would have retirees who have their life savings in there, and all of a sudden that they can't work anymore. That's the biggest thing about whenever you're old and you have money. You have to try to preserve your wealth because you're not going to be able to work again. Because you got a fucked up knee, back's messed up, whatever the situation is. That's the whole point of trying to save some money for whenever you don't have to work.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, so many thousands of people have planned on having this much money to live on. Now that gets cut in half. Somewhere, if we have a Great Depression type situation, we'll lose 80%. Which it would be really, really hard for that to happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
You know what's funny? There was when all the Epstein files were released, Epstein was talking about how Bill Clinton was the reason for the financial collapse in 2008 because he created what's called subprime credit lenders or something along those lines. And what he said was to get votes, who would have thought that? To get more votes, what he did was he wanted to target home buyers. But not everybody has good credit. Or however it's weighed out. You probably know more about that than I would.
Yeah, so here's the simplest way to put it. Whenever you go to borrow money from someone, it is their job to judge how likely you are to pay back the loan.
Yes.
So what was happening in the 2008 financial crisis is, imagine, I'll put this in the perspective of a classroom setting. Imagine you have a classroom full of 10 kids, and you're betting on who will make straight A's.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the best student, right?
Yeah.
And so you could look at their report cards, and you can look at the work that they've done, and you have a pretty good instance of who's going to be a good student.
Have a pattern.
Well, imagine if you're reading a report card that says all A's, but it's for the kid who's the worst in the school who actually makes D's and F's.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you're going to think that this guy is all great and shiny, when if you actually were wagering on it, you're probably going to lose all your money.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're a young college kid who doesn't have a job yet, but you really need to borrow some money, if you're lucky enough to get a loan, it's going to be at a very high interest rate because they think that you're unlikely to pay your money back.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a millionaire, a lot of times you have assets which you can borrow against the loan that you have.
Yeah.
So someone like Elon Musk, he could go borrow millions of dollars because he could just put his Tesla shares up as collateral.
Mm-hmm.
So if he either doesn't pay it back, or if the Tesla price of Tesla goes incredibly down, it'd have to be liquidated, and he could pay it back, whatever it may be. So what happened then was that essentially people who had no chance of being able to buy a home, they were giving them a loan to buy a home.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of, what's the term, where your interest rate will change.
Mm-hmm.
You would have like an introductory rate where you have a very low percentage the first year, and then it would skyrocket. So if you had a house and you were paying $1,000 a month for your mortgage, after that introductory rate's gone, your price would probably close to double.
Damn.
So then from there, all these people were having to default on their mortgages because no one was paying them back.
Yeah.
And there was all of the major institutions were buying what they call mortgage-backed securities because these were essentially a group of mortgages. So think if you had all the houses around this area, 100 houses, and you had all the mortgages here. As long as the people who had those mortgages kept paying into them, you would get paid for it. The value would go up because of the money coming in. But you'd have different levels to that, right? You would have top. These are the wealthy of the wealthy. These are the people who have never missed a bill in their life. Those would be like AAA. That would be elite of the elite. The odds of them not paying their mortgage is very low. Then you would have, progressively keep going down, right? Next thing you know, you get to like B and C. This would be the waitress who just bought the $500,000 house. You know, shit like that. And so there would be these groups that people would invest in. Well, there were so many people not paying their mortgages back that a lot of the ones that were up there in the AAA category weren't that good. People were defaulting on them. So back to my school analogy, it'd be like, well, we had 30 kids and we thought we were picking the best 30 kids in the school for their grades. Well, no, you actually have some C students, you have some D students in there. So the odds of them being successful isn't very high.
Yeah.
Correct? So that's essentially what happened. The biggest underlying factor of that was that. And you've seen a lot of that now with private credit too. So BlackRock, Blackstone, all these high entities were lending out money to all these businesses, and they were having to charge a higher rate than essentially what bonds are, which is called the risk-free rate. Which you'll notice, well, why is a mortgage rate the way that it is? Why is it you borrow any money? Because for a bank, if they can park their money at the Federal Reserve or get Treasury notes for 5%, they're not going to charge someone 3% for a mortgage because first of all, you not paying your mortgage is a lot riskier than the government not paying.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why everyone looks at the federal funds rate whenever the Federal Reserve issues what they put the overnight rate at, which the Federal Reserve does not control long-term rates. That's determined by market, essentially. So you saw what happened was about 2 months before the election, this last election, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates by what they call 50 basis points. So you had a massive drop. So you would think in principle that inflation or the bond rates would go down because inflation is low. Well, if inflation is too low, or the interest rate's too low, then it's a lot easier for people to get money. They fear inflation can be a thing.
Yeah.
So if there's inflation, the longer end rates will go up, increase. I know that's a lot of financial terminology here breaking down, but the general point is it could fall at any moment.
Yeah.
You just have a massive and we've even seen a little bit of it the last couple of weeks with the Iran war. It hasn't dropped an extreme amount. It's probably like 5 to 8%, somewhere in that range. But it could get a lot worse.
Oh yeah. I mean, what are we, like 8 weeks into this thing? Something like that?
Oh no, we're like the Iran war.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like 3 weeks in.
Oh,
They invaded the end of February. That shows how fast these things go.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna do, Danny. I'm gonna put financial crash. I'm gonna put it at the top. I'm gonna put it even ahead of World War III.
And we're back in black.
We're back. So, Danny, to recap our list so far, we've done 4 topics.
Yes.
We've done financial system crash,
Yes.
World War III / nuclear bombs,
Uh-huh.
AI global takeover, and alien invasion.
Yes.
And we have ranked them in that order of likeliness.
Yeah.
And I think that the top 3 outweigh alien invasion by a large portion.
Yes.
I think when we get through these next 10 or so, alien invasion will probably be at the bottom of least likely.
All right.
But it's the funnest one to talk about, or one of the funnest ones.
I mean, if I'm going to choose a way to go, it's definitely going to be an alien invasion. Let me go out with some sci-fi shit.
You can be like Parker, got abducted by aliens or something, you know what you want.
The block is always hot right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? We live right smack dab in the middle of town. The block's always hot.
It's beautiful. Next one. One that has happened before in the past to the world. The dinosaurs were the main beneficiary of this. A comet / meteor strike.
I mean, we currently don't have a way to deter a giant-ass meteor should it make its way in the path of Earth. Now, people are like, shoot a missile at it. It's like, well, they thought about that, but the science doesn't really work out that way because you turn one meteor into several dozen. And then That's like several dozen nuclear bombs smashing into the Earth.
The thing to contemplate when it comes to the potential comet meteor strike is if it does, one, how big is it? But then two, where does it hit at? For example, a lot of people maybe a stretch, but there's some that speculate that Noah's flood and a lot of the other flood myths around the world were because a meteor hit the northern ice caps and basically unfroze all the water and then went rushing.
I mean, however God needs to make that happen, you feel me?
So the point being made here is that if it's coming our way, there's nothing much we can do about it. We have the Tunguska event, where it was the meteor didn't even hit the ground, it bursted in the air and caused hundreds of miles radius of damage in Siberia.
I haven't heard that. When was this?
Early 1900s.
Damn.
So then we have the dinosaurs are the main one, which basically landed in the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's the most famous one.
Yeah.
The one that caused the Younger Dryas, is theorized, is probably the next best. Then you have the Tunguska event, Tunguska event, 1908. Large explosion between 3 and 50 megatons.
Damn.
TNT. It's 117 years ago. And it was a meteor airburst or small area of comet. It flattened 830 square miles of forest.
830?
Yeah, square miles. And that's not... That bursted in the air. That didn't even collide with the ground, with the earth.
How far up was it when it burst?
It's a good question. I don't see it here. The underlying thesis of this point is, out of all these things, we talk about global war, and we talk about nukes, talk about AI, we talk about losing all of our money. But this is the one that if it does happen in the right place, we are done.
Oh yeah, that's the delete button.
It doesn't even matter where it hits if it's big enough. You ever seen the movie Armageddon?
Yeah.
Where the asteroids are like the size of Texas,
Yeah.
they say?
Oh yeah.
So even if something's just a small, teeny fraction of that, and it hits anywhere on Earth,
That's the reset button.
we're fucked. That is the world fucked. That is highly up there.
The good news is it'd be a quick death. It'd be a bloop, and then you're done. You're gone.
For if you're close by it.
Yeah, I mean, for the other half of the world, depending on where, whatever half it hits, the other half, that's not going to be fun. But, for those caught in the initial blast zone, you feel me? It'll be a quick little whoops, and then you wake up wherever you go after that.
So for this one, it's similar to the first three in the sense of if the game is played long enough, it's bound to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not. It's. I don't know how probable it would be. I mean, I'm sure NASA or whoever has got a pretty good grasp on what's in the nearby area with all the technology we have. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely probable. And yeah.
The ultimate question is, will it happen in our lifetimes?
I doubt it.
I think that if we had to break these down, the other three are probably more likely to happen in our time, but the comet is probably the biggest underlying fear.
Yeah, because that's something that we can't really control. We don't have
even if the nukes go off, there's only so many places you can drop a nuke. You're going to have the farmland in Iowa that no one cares about. They're going to have a storm shelter. They'll go down the storm shelter and they'll come up in how many ever days in the wasteland, but they'll still live.
Yeah,
if a comet just hits the Earth, a big one, no one lives.
Yeah.
No. And there's also no AI if that happens.
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be no damn robots.
Nope.
There won't even be any nukes. The nukes will be gone.
Nope. Everything's
gone if that
humans
happens.
will cease to exist as we know them.
Here's the next one, Dan. This one is, people could tie this one into World War III, but I don't think it's the same because it's something the United States has not dealt with since the War of 1812. And that's an invasion from an opposing force.
I think geographically we're just, what you said earlier, We got two big oceans on either side of us. I mean, the terrain itself is going to be crazy. On top of that, everyone has a gun. A lot of our citizens have guns, especially the more south you go. Very unlikely. I mean, you're attacking home base. You're not just taking military action against the military. You're taking military action against the military and all of its citizens who quite like the way we live right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially the more south you get, it ain't gonna happen. It would just be. Yeah, no, I don't see it. No, I don't think it happen.
For me, I think the only way that it does happen is if U.S. completely loses its military power. And we have if there's a clear number one out there besides us,
Yeah.
then it could happen.
I mean, how would...
But I think for that to happen, we're decades away from that even being done.
Yeah, I would say we still spend quite a substantial amount more money on defense than I think any other country in the world.
The bigger threat is the Civil War as opposed to the invasion.
That is something that I would say is probably amongst the most probable things. I pray that it does not happen, but we're too polarized. We're too, not diversified, we're too divided. Too polarized, too divided. I mean, let's just take Charlie Kirk, like what he was actually trying to do. Like, he didn't say anything that was like really controversial. But controversial things are not. Normal things are now controversial. Like men being strong and masculine and stoic, and we're the ones that are going to go fight the wars, and women should be feminine and in the house and nurturing and things like that. Like, that was normal forever. And then now it's like, that's not normal anymore. That's controversy because, it's toxic masculinity and sexual liberation. Women can go be the boss and do what you want. But it's like, that doesn't actually always work, though. Like, that doesn't always work. Like, men, you need men and we need women. We're not equal, we're complementary. We complement each other in such a beautiful way that is, I think, is taken for granted. Women making a house a home, that's one of the most powerful things that any person could do, and feminism has twisted it so much that women are now opting out. They're starting OnlyFans, and they're saying, I don't need men, I don't need this, I don't need that, I can be, and it's like, well, you're right, you can do that, but that's not wholesome, it's not going to fulfill you. And then with men, it's like, well, you can just subscribe to OnlyFans, you can smoke your weed, be in your mom's basement, and play video games all day, and, that's okay. It's like, no, it's not. It's not okay to be weak. It's not okay to be a pacifist. It's not okay that these normal things are controversial. And you know what? Charlie Kirk wasn't even controversial, but they killed him for it. For just trying to unmuddle the lines between what is actual fact and what is actual fiction. Like when you go to these man of the street, or we'll just keep it on Charlie Kirk, when he's going to these college campuses, like he's just asking you where you've got your opinion from. What studies do you have to back up your claim? And then people get mad for it. And then now they say, they shoot him and they kill him. And then it's like, well, now what? Now what? We're divided, we're polarized, now what? Where do we go? How do we come back from this? So, Civil War, amongst the things.
I see it as, those are all just small pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Of leading to that point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that, maybe George Floyd death would be the start of it. Or maybe what was that Ukrainian girl that got stabbed on the bus?
That was terrible. Yeah. But then, like, normal things, like, that's terrible regardless of whoever it would have been. If it would have been a black lady and a white man, or an Indian man and an Asian woman, or whoever, whatever. Like, it's a normal thing to be like, somebody got murdered on a bus pretty horrendously, and she was minding her own business. Let's just look at that thing and be like, okay, that's whatever side you're on, that's terrible. But we can't do that.
There's going to need to be a bigger catalyst for the Civil War to start.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just, we're in a pot of boiling water. It's just a matter of time before and all these little
Well,
tiny
that
things.
could be it. The final drop is the one that tips the bucket over. There's always the possibility of that. But one that I've seen going around, that'll probably be the start of it, is if we continue this war with Iran and we do a draft. And you're going to have how many ever young men refuse to go fight in war? And the supposed consequences, you're supposed to go to jail for that.
Yeah.
But, so then that's where the revolution will probably start.
Yeah.
Or either that or they try to come take the guns away.
Well,
now, those would probably be the two leading things to start the Civil War.
and I agree with you, because even with the Epstein files being released, like we've seen how some of these elitists, what they do.
Maybe we could have an overthrow if we find like 15 more cases of like the Somalian daycare thing, where we know our taxpayer dollars is going to complete bullshit and to fraud, and then all of a sudden we have enough people to stop paying their taxes. That might start a Civil War. That'd probably be the financial end of it.
It'd be left versus right.
Then you have to figure out what side you're on. And they're trying to throw sides out there currently, let alone if we can finish on that road.
You know, and I think about these things because it's like, you know, if it comes to this, if it comes to that, I need to know that I'm right. At least in my belief system. And it's like, well, how do you validate your biased beliefs? It's like, well, okay, I'm a Christian man. I am not my nose is leaking, so it is what it is. When you do a podcast, everything just goes sideways. We're all biased human beings, so I'm a Christian man. I'm not the poster child for Christianity, so there's that sort of disclosure. But it's hard to... It's going to go back to me being prepared. Men can only be men, women can only be women. There are two genders. I don't care how you dress it up or dress it down. If you're a woman in man's clothes, you're wearing a costume. If you're a woman and you transition to a man, you're wearing a costume. I don't care. Your chromosomes are going to be the same. Until we reach the point to where we can change technology, where we can change your chromosomes, then I'll be like, all right, well, you got us there. But we ain't there yet, and I don't think we're ever going to get there. So men are only men, and women are only women. Now, with that, I am off track. Where were we at again?
Going back to what you talked about earlier, if we do have a civil war, what side,
Yes.
where are your values?
Yeah, so my values would be, I'm more of a conservative. And I'm conservative because, to my current understanding, conservatives believe that men are men, women are women. And it's like...
But belief should go so much deeper than that.
Well, it is. It's like the delusion.
Because that's bullshit that doesn't affect you. Like, you know you're a man.
Yes.
And whenever you get a girlfriend, wife, whatever, you know she's going to be a woman. I hope you're not going to go with someone who is debating on if they're a man or a woman to be in your house.
Well, the deeper...
My point being is that so many people care about this shit, and I don't think it fucking matters.
Well, I think it matters when they're, starting to get like, all right, well, let's go into... it's the societal ramifications of what it signals, for one, and then what the behavior that falls with it, too. I mean, you got people... What is the... I have to look up the specific statistics, so roast me in the comments, but... These transgenders are starting to shoot up schools. They're starting to want to go to different bathrooms with your little girl or with your little boy. And now, I'll keep it real. Some of these are anecdotal, and they don't really happen that often on a grandiose scale. It's fine. But it's still the fact that we have a society that is so polarized and so divided that the lines of reality are being diluted to such an extent that it's like we're getting too far away from the core principles of what makes America great, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because we're muddling the lines of like who can be what. It's like, well, how do you it just see this.
So here's my point. Okay, so according to Google, real quick Google search, there are roughly 2.1 million adults 18 years of older or plus who are trans. 2.1 million sounds like a lot of people.
Yeah.
But do you know what percentage of the United States population that is?
0.8%.
0.8%. 0.8%.
Yeah.
So that means 99.2% of adults are not trans. Another example would be abortions.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many women a year have an abortion in the United States?
Probably a similar statistic, probably lower than that.
It's roughly 1 million. which sounds like a lot, right? A lot of
Yeah,
babies being
that's
killed.
not.
But once again, what percentage of the United States population is that? If 2.1 million was 0.8%, what is 1 million? About 0.3, 0.4%. So everyone uses these things that really affect a very small amount of people. The problem is that it affects the virtue signalers who think that they have to be behind these people and the things that they want because they need to have freedom. And at the end of the day, you have freedom of choice.
You do.
Do whatever the hell you want.
I mean, I see that, but I think it's never that easy. It's always, yes, you have the freedom of choice. You have the decision to focus on it or not focus on it. But then it's like, okay, well, how far does it need to get before we need to start focusing on it? It's like, is it better to just nip it in the bud? Like, no, we're going too far left or we're going too far right. We need to bring it back to the center or whatever. Because then it's like, all right, well, now we're going to access gender affirming care, hormones, surgeries. And it's like, well, let people be what they want to be or what they want to do. Okay, so then you got your neighbor or whoever it is who wants their 8-year-old child to be a male now.
And that's where the line in the sand is drawn.
And so then
if you're a fully free adult, you should be allowed to do whatever the hell you want.
And I agree. Do your thing.
The big problem is the parents who are trying to convince these young kids to cut their dicks off.
Well, and then then it goes into legal and policy changes, and then it goes into sports, and then it goes into cultural and societal norms, and then social cohesion and economic impact. It's like, because it's never just one thing. It's always a domino.
Here's my overlying point of all this. Think of your life and your effort as a pie chart.
Okay.
You only have 100% to put into your life.
Yeah.
You can't have 110. What your 100% is can increase, but you only have 100%.
Yeah.
That's all you'll ever get.
Mm-hmm.
So if you spend 20% of your time worrying about fucking trans people and someone cutting off their kid's dick, like, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But you're using way too much of your effort worrying about it because it doesn't involve you. It's not going to involve your family. It's not going to involve your beliefs.
Yeah.
You can control 3 things in life: your thoughts, your choices, and your actions.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that you have control of.
I agree with you.
You can't control what your neighbor does. You can't control what freaking Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, what Benjamin Netanyahu, we can't know what any of these people say, what they do.
Mm-hmm.
All you can control is you. And do the best that you can. Because here's also a way to look at it, right?
Yep.
Because we're on the topic of invasion still.
Yep.
Okay, so the 3 things that you can control: thoughts, choices, and your actions. Go into, for example, if we are invaded, going on this topic. So let's say that we are invaded, if it's just, or even a civil war, whatever it may be. Your best move on the chessboard is to prepare now.
Absolutely. I agree.
So what are the things that you're going to need if that happens?
You're going to need resources.
What resources will you need?
Well, I need the basics. I need food, water, shelter.
Food, water, shelter.
And then I need defense.
Defense.
Need people. Need tribe. Inclusive.
Yeah.
Food, water, shelter, defense. I need a tribe because I'm going to have to rely on others, like family, friends, because you're not about to go through, the worst case scenario alone, because that would be, I can hear that. That's crazy. Must be the XLR cable.
Could be. We'll try it. Because don't you have another one?
Yeah.
We'll try it next time. We're almost done here. So.
That's about as far as I got right there.
So, we have ranked invasion. The actual invasion from another country I'd rank fairly low currently.
Yeah.
But a civil war is higher.
Yes.
Than that. That needs to be probably a higher concern
Yes.
than actual invasion. Next one, they're 2 entirely separate things, but the result of both of them is the same. So we'll throw them in together. Solar flare or an EMP, wiping the power grid.
Well, EMP would kind of go back into nuclear weapons.
Exactly. Or you can, if you launch a nuke in space, it's basically the same thing as an EMP, as the electromagnetic.
Yeah. I
So,
guess that would be the easiest way to. Honestly, that'd probably be even more preferred than striking land with a nuke. Because if the electricity grid went out, you know what I'm saying? Like, people out in the country know how to survive. Like, I got a guy that I work with in the oil field. Like, he hunts and can do all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So It would definitely suck, but I think humans would ultimately.
Imagine what
adapt.
New York City would look like if there was no electricity there for 2 months.
It'd be chaos. You'd have to get out of the city. You wouldn't even be able to. You'd be trapped.
They say, I don't know how true this is, but it sounds right, that grocery stores, on average, are stocked with like 3 days worth of food.
Huh, yeah, you'd be ransacked immediately.
Then you wouldn't have anything.
I wouldn't even. My plan would just be trying to make it out of the city, but I'd have to let the.
Well, then where are you going to go?
You have to go out in the country. You have to get out of the metropolis area because you can't be around that many people. It's too much. Law doesn't exist at that point. It's a dog eat dog world. Like the law is irrelevant. Whatever it is, it's survival now. So it's like whatever you got. Good luck. I don't know how you do it. You'd have to. Yeah, I don't know.
We're a society that's been so built on electricity now. As we talked about earlier, 97% of wealth is is numbers on his computer screen.
The vast majority of people would die. Absolutely. 99% of people would die. There'd be that 1% of just somehow, some way, they managed to survive.
And they would probably be so savage after that, they wouldn't be able to be accommodated back into society at all.
No. You've seen too much, you've done too much.
Let's just even say it's for a year, right? And not saying for the rest of human time. Let's just say a year. Then all of a sudden, the electricity just came back on. You would have millions of people dead from either starvation, drought,
murder. You would see horrors beyond our current comprehension. It would be horrific. It would be 9/11 times 1 million. It would just, there's no electricity. You can't see anything. Everything just shut off. Just done. Yeah, you'd be. Gangs would start trying to take over territory. It would just be. It'd probably be gangs, honestly, because
that
they have
one's the
numbers.
one that is, I think, has the combination of being not only extremely likely to happen, but it's the one that you're not going to die instantly from it.
Nah.
That's one of those ones where you're enduring the hell that is now on Earth, and then you get to die. If the nuke goes off right here, we're just evaporated, disintegrated.
Yeah.
Don't really have to think about it.
That'd be dust.
But the solar flare EMP, next thing you know, you're dueling it out.
Yeah.
For food.
Yeah.
Resources. What if you need medicine? What if you have a kid who has diabetes and you need insulin and you just run out? The kind of things that you'll do to make sure your child has insulin is going to be very fucking
horrific things. And then when the lights come back on,
if they do.
If they come back on. Let's say they did come back on.
I'm putting this one
and you've got to look in the mirror after all the things you just did. And you're like, oh, society has a gleam of hope to be reconstructed. And it's like, probably too far gone now. You ripped the Band-Aid off.
Alright, so we have identified the solar flare status EMP as being a major threat.
Yep.
I consider this as top tier.
Yeah.
This one is worse than financial system crashing.
Yeah.
This one's probably even worse than World War III.
Yeah, because it would be against ourselves, not a foreign party.
And it's going to be a slow, agonizing hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the chaos will not erupt immediately, because there'll be millions of people who think the electricity will come back on soon. Because that's what usually happens, right? You have a big ice storm, big rainstorm, electricity's back on generally in a couple days.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone's going to think. The next thing you know, when we go a week without it, then the real panic sets in.
I would, if that was that when I was in New York, I would EMP, is a cause for it. If we knew that, just some, like radio, I don't even know, I guess radio would work, would it?
Some radios would.
However we found out, you know what I'm saying, I'd like, well, we gotta, let's go. Well, your car doesn't work, so, whoa.
Unless you had a real old car that didn't have any electrical parts in it. But almost every car in the last 40 years probably has some sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, if you could some way, it'd be best to just leave New York. I don't even know how you would do that. Because once people figure out that nobody's coming to save them, that's it. That's the ball game. Like, it's just, you're going to see hell beyond anything that we would ever want to experience.
Yeah, what's the quote? Your empire, all the great empires of the world are only like 3 meals away from absolute anarchy.
Oh yeah.
I think the exact quote would be, let me look it up real quick. So, even the most stable empires are only 3 missed meals away from chaos, which is very true.
Yeah.
That's when revolutions happen, is when people can't eat. Which that'll transition into one of the ones that we'll have later on here, but we'll continue with the list as it is. Next one, these two are fairly coincided, and this is, it probably won't take much discussion because if these happen, we kind of know our fate, is natural disasters or a pole shift. Natural disasters would be hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, volcano, Yellowstone erupting, Pompeii on steroids.
Yeah. There's that yellow something go in a minute.
And then the pole shift would be, has been theorized by some people, where how many ever thousands of years take place and the poles on the earth will literally flip. That's why there's been some accounts of stories, I believe in South America, where the sun stood in place for a week straight. And that's because the poles shift and there's nothing happening. So imagine if the poles shift, flip, but all the wind and all the currents and everything are still moving.
That'd be tricky.
It would be basically what would happen if the meteor hit us. The world would end. Except for the very few people who would somehow be saved, and most people would. This would also explain potentially Noah's flood with all the waters going on, because if the pole shifts, then the water's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That would also explain why maybe Antarctica was green at one point, or the Sahara was green, because it was in a technically different location relative to the equator.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of possibility to that. I think that natural disasters happen every year. We have tornadoes all the time here in Oklahoma.
Yeah. People watch them.
The point of this one being on here would it be a mass scale of, like, you ever seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah, good movie.
If something like that happens, where, I mean, obviously some of the stuff in there goes against traditional science, but the point is still the same of if there's, essentially we can't control the weather.
Yeah.
And if the weather's the reason that we go out.
Yeah.
Do we have certain areas that have never experienced cold and all of a sudden they're frozen to death? Do we have mass migration because certain areas of the world are inhabitable now? So I think if we can avoid the pole shift, then the natural disasters, we can usually get around those. Either relocate, rebuild. Obviously lives will be lost and horrible things will happen, unfortunately, but that one is more, I think, to be considered lower on the list, because if it does happen, the pole shift, if it does happen, we're just fucked. We're dead.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
We just have to eat that one and disappear.
Next one, I think, has a little bit of validity to it. One that we've seen, we thought about 6 years ago when COVID was happening, that it was the end of the world. And I'll include another subset in this as well. How do we view Earth ending with a plague or zombie apocalypse?
Hey, if I'm going to choose the way that I get to go out, it's either alien invasion or zombie apocalypse, okay? Let's let something kind of cool happen, even though it would be horrific beyond my imagination. But let's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait, hold on. What kind of zombies are we talking about here?
There's a lot of different interpretations.
We talking about Walking Dead, or we talking about the sprinting zombies?
The thing about the disease, Danny, is that you don't get to choose. That's one of the points about it, is it's uncontrollable. you don't get to see the 5 vials there of different zombies. Oh, this one looks cool. Let me do that one.
Is there the gay zombies? I don't like that. I'm opt out. Can you imagine that? What if they're gay zombies? We had a gay zombie apocalypse.
Probably at some point.
And then, like, each gender of zombie went after its own gender. So, like, the female zombies are interested in you, but the male zombies, they love you. You know, hey, that's scary. Hey, take me out of the ball game, coach. I don't want to play this anymore. So
I think you went a little off the rails there, buddy.
The gay zombie apocalypse. Hey, I'm out. I want to play this game.
You ever seen the movie Contagion?
Yes. Long time ago.
That
was the monkey, right? Something like a monkey started it.
That's 28 Days Later.
No. Contagion. No, there was another movie that was like that. It is 28 Days Later, but there was another one. Anyway, I think I have, but it's been Long time.
Basically, this movie came out in like 2011.
Yeah,
It's an
I'm
older movie.
familiar with what. Yeah.
It was basically what the world would be like if COVID was more deadly. One of the things that benefited us when we had the lockdowns is that COVID really wasn't that bad. It affected the really old and the really unfit.
Poor health.
Exactly. The young physical specimens really didn't have much trouble with COVID.
Hey, I got a week's vacation, so I was chilling.
But imagine if COVID was, let's just say, 3 times as deadly. And that's pretty low still. It was 3 times as deadly. What's the ramifications from that?
I mean, what we already saw. I mean, severe lockdowns, supply shortages, probably anarchy. I mean, it would just be, it'd be crazy when you're looking just high like that. I'm like,
Oh, it was like a cold breeze blew in here. It's like,
reaching for something.
yeah, it's good. Well, you never know,
It's
bro.
wrong.
You never know. The plague has a lot of validity to it. One of the reasons is because we like to create these things.
Yes, we do.
If it was just the natural way of the world, might have a little better chance of this not becoming a full thing.
Yeah.
But we got freaking labs that are building all these deadly viruses. Spread. I have no idea what the actual ramifications of them are if they get out and spread. It was basically confirmed that COVID originated in a lab.
Yeah. Yep.
So who's to say that someone else can't create something way worse than that?
I'm sure we have it. I mean, I've always kind of thought, I don't know too much about this, but the Geneva Convention, like the rules of war, it's like it's war. Like, no biological weapon. It's like, really? Someone's going to fall? Nah, we're not. No incendiary, no napalm, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna follow that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
That's sort of.
I'm sure horrific things exist in the labs of other countries, even ours. Why wouldn't it?
The reason you have those laws like that in place, or those standards,
For POWs.
similar to like if you ever seen the movie Troy,
Yeah.
and you have like when Achilles killed Hector,
Yeah.
and the king came to get his body,
Yeah.
and they agreed to have, what was it, 7 or 12 days of funeral games,
Yeah.
and so they stopped the battle because even enemies can show each other respect, was the quote.
Mhm.
Because it's similar to a different level than what you've seen from the religious fanatics with this Israel-Iran thing. A lot of people believe that if they create bad in this world, it will reflect in their next life.
Yeah.
That's what has helped solve a lot of evil in this world. Is that people think that, well, if I'm bad in this world, my next life, the eternal life, I'm doomed.
Yeah. I would
So
agree.
as long as we can keep that around to at least have people question what the motives that they have.
Do you feel like people are not as often asking that question these days?
Oh, 100%.
I think that's kind of part of my point earlier, is like how we're so polarized and divided, because we're not like, what are the ramifications of my soul going to be if I continue down this path? For every
One of
side.
the biggest themes of the Bible, maybe the biggest theme, is sacrifice.
Mhm.
You're supposed to give up something now for the future. So if you want to have a great body and you want to live a long time, if you drink Mountain Dew every day and you never exercise, then you're not going to get the results.
Yeah.
And it's similar in this aspect. People are doing the things that they love now with no thought or remorse for the future.
Yeah.
Here's a more not polarizing, but especially around this area, you probably relate to this. You know how many people I see complain on social media about how expensive things are,
Bro.
and they'll have a sleeve of tattoos.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
300 pounds.
It's like, you have that sleeve of tattoos. If you went and invested that money that you bought on your tattoos, you'd have a lot more money than you do now.
Yeah. Yes.
And everyone's like, oh, I'm broke. Oh, no, you spent all your damn money on stupid shit.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that every month you don't have at least one expense that you can cut out? I guarantee you, majority of people complaining about money aren't completely sober. They're spending some money on drugs, whether it be liquor or whatever substance they choose.
Strippers. What?
Could be. Or they'll have just gotten a new car and they're talking about how horrible and how bad this country is. All these different things.
This goes back to like culture, man. Like, you know, getting back to a culture and a society where it's like discipline is the way. You know, being healthy is a good thing. Mentally, spiritually, physically, these are good things.
I think there has to be acceptance, though, of there's just going to be people who aren't going to buy in. No matter what you do. They're going to be undisciplined, they're going to be lazy.
But then I think, to a degree, not completely, and it would just depend on what that looks like, but those people would just be like, you're an outcast. Not an outcast like we're going to just be, like we're going to haze you and just, but you're just kind of like, you don't really provide much to society or anything. Like, you're just selfish because you're 300 pounds. You don't take care of yourself. So now our taxpayers are going to be going to you, John K. plus 8, to take care of you from your bad decisions. You know. Hey, I don't have all the answers. I just, you know what I'm saying, we're shooting.
We're trying to piece it together as we go.
We're trying to piece things together.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So this one, our plague and zombie apocalypse, we'll put on the high meter. We'll put it somewhere up here around. I'm going to put it right below AI takeover. Next one, Danny. One that may happen in certain parts of the world, and is currently happening in certain parts of the world, and may happen everywhere, is famine.
Famine.
No food.
Slamming famine. Famine.
Imagine if the United States was like Ethiopia, where we couldn't get any food. And you just mentioned it there, all the obese people we have in this world, they can't go 3 hours without eating something.
No, bro.
What are you gonna do when they can't go to Walmart? All the shelves are empty.
But you.
What are you gonna do when all the livestock around here is gone? What are you gonna do when you need to get freaking baby formula for your kid? You can't get any formula.
If all the cow goes, why do you think I have a dog? Bro, that dude's right up the grill, bro. I'm sure he tastes good. That's terrible. I would never.
I didn't know you were Chinese, man.
Yeah, amazing. You put pee-pee in your Coke. No,
this is one I think is very, very likely.
Famine? How would famine happen?
Well, you saw potential of it happen with COVID, the supply chains.
Yeah.
Because think about all the different food items that we have, right, an option to buy. Not all of them are made here in the United States. A lot of them we get from somewhere else. And that's one of the reasons why it's cheaper, too. Luckily for the United States, we're pretty, as we mentioned numerous times on the show, we have a lot of resources,
yep.
which is good, which would help us in this deal. We have good farmland, which
yep.
would drastically help. One thing that I was watching the other day made a lot of sense is we're probably going to have to get to a point to where people are leaving metropolitan areas to go to rural areas so that we can farm. Because if we're not able to get the food from other places in the world, we're going to have to make it here, which is going to require more workers to produce the food.
Yeah.
But you can see we hinted at this earlier with the countries in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. If the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, not only is the oil not going up, but the food's not coming in. Yep. So then you could have famine there.
Yeah.
We had famine in Maoist China because we wanted the state and the people to own everything, so we got rid of the farmers so the people could own it. The people didn't know how to farm.
You know what the overall arching theme is here? Like how just interconnected we all are.
Now we are, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like,
now we've become a global economy.
Like it's just...
Which is why it can fracture so easily.
Yeah.
You have one little 20-mile or 30-mile strait that is a country threatening to bomb, so no ships can go through there.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, everything increases in price.
Yep.
And there's a handful of those locations around the world that are extremely important. Panama Canal is one of them.
Yeah.
Suez Canal is another one. And you want to try to have as many of these pieces as you can to hope that you can avoid the famine, which is a potential to happen.
Yeah.
And then if we had mass famine, you're going to have enough people die off because of starvation. So then we have depopulation, which everyone has said that if we have depopulation, you can't have near as much growth. Because everyone thinks that everyone thinks that, we only have so many resources, we can't accommodate all these people. Well, generally, the more people you have, the more ideas you have. You know, Metcalfe's law. The more connections in your network, the better chance you have of expanding, basically. So if we have famine, people die. Next thing you know, we have less people to make food. And then we have less ideas that are being made, less innovation, a whole lot less creativity. So I think famine is high. It's up there in the same ranges. I'm going to put it even higher than a plague happening.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. Supply chains go off, war takes over, starts knocking, ruffling everything. Then yeah, we're screwed.
3 more here on my list, Danny, and then we'll close up shop. Number 11, we probably won't spend a whole lot of time on this one because you're probably like me and think most of this is just
I can hear it.
It's just complete garbage bullshit.
It's a lot of interference. Must be this cable. It is this cable.
Yeah, it's something. We'll try a different cable next time. But the next one on the list is climate change.
I hear both sides. Is it like loud?
Yeah, it's way loud. Yeah. All right, do it again.
Check.
All right, it's better.
It's just like any sudden movement. It's gonna. I'll get mic stands. That way we don't have to mess with the cables. So. I hear both sides. I hear, oh, it is a thing. I hear it's not a thing. Like, I haven't actually looked into the science yet. So I honestly, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I just don't know.
It goes back to the principle of how fast are these things going to occur. We had Al Gore back in 2000 talking about how the world was going to end in 10 years. Had that Greta Thornburg, stupid chick, say the world was going to end by 2023. Well, here we are.
Yeah, Nostradamus.
Everyone talks about how the sea levels are rising when you can literally go on Google Earth and look at the sea level and see that it's staying the exact same in the vast majority of locations in the world.
Mm-hmm. If
global change or climate change was really a thing, you wouldn't have all these politicians and people advocating for it buying beachfront property. That's what we call a dumbass investment, if you think that's the case.
Yes.
So I'm putting climate change on towards the very bottom.
Yeah, that's the least.
I mean, it's in the. This is below pole ship. This is right. This is one step above alien invasion.
Yeah, yeah. So alien invasion is the last.
And here's my point on climate change before I move on to the last two. What's the first thing you think about when you think of an oil company? Money, greed, right?
Yeah.
Do anything you can to get a dollar, even if it hurts society. Right? And then the first thing that comes to your mind? So why do people think that these people advocating for wind power, solar power, all these alternative energies aren't the exact same way? Why do people not view them the same way as the oil company?
Yeah.
Because they are. They're the exact freaking same.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get the money. They don't give a fuck about you or the world. They want money.
Yeah.
All these people, it's the virtue signaling that gets them. Says, oh,
yes.
Well, we're going to save the world, so that's why we need to do this. No, you're just using it as a reason to get money.
That's all it is. Politics. It's just virtue signaling.
100%.
I'm for them. I'm for them. No, you're not. You're just for yourself. You just want to put it that you're for them or you're for us, so you can go do what you want to do.
Hinted at this one earlier, Danny, but we'll put it up there, and I think this one is a key factor to watch going forward in the next 100 years. Is declining birth rates.
Dude, I am actually closer to that topic than, because I've been hearing about it. I've heard a couple of things. I think Elon Musk has said some things about it. Haven't really looked too much into it. It's just kind of some anecdotal things that I've been kind of hearing here and there. But I hear that it's a pretty big problem here in the States. A lot of people not making babies anymore, which comes back. Ding, 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 to culture, to society. Because what are these? How did we get here? Why are we here? Let's track it back. So why is the birth rate declining in the States? What do you know?
There's a few reasons behind it. One of the biggest underlying reasons is that people think it's too expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking about how expensive. Some people aren't even able to live on their own, by themselves, let alone take care of a kid. So they're like fuck it. There's also a lot of people who would rather save the little bit of money that they make and go on their trip to Bali or Bahamas or wherever the hell it is for 1 year, for each year, as opposed to actually produce and leave a legacy on this world by creating life.
You know what? To touch on this, I can hear it, bro. I'm sorry if it's killing your ears.
It'll be alright. It's just gonna sound like shit
I'm
on the
sure
video. But
I might be able to fix it. I don't know. We'll see. There might be some AI tool out there.
we'll try to figure it out.
Yeah. It's just part of the process. My brother's having a kid here in May 4th. And with that, I kind of been thinking about kids. Not to the extent where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go have a kid like tomorrow. But I'm like, I think I'm 33 now. I'm more successful than I've ever been. And I'm on a trajectory of success that I've ever been. I've just leveled up across the board. And now I'm like, I want to keep that going, obviously. But I think this goes back to, you're going to hear this a lot on this show, cultural and society. Like, I think that is our core issue. That and education, I'll kind of put those in the same bucket. The education side more than I do. But children are a beautiful thing. Family's a beautiful thing. I can understand from a point of view of someone's like, I can't afford it, I don't want to do it right now. Which is not necessarily a terrible idea. It's a pretty smart choice. If you can't afford it, don't have it, because there's a lot of people who have had it and can't afford it. So if that's your positioning, then smart. And
there's layers to it as well, right? Because you have, maybe it's stuff that we're consuming that is causing that.
Yeah.
Because I know a whole lot of people who are trying to have kids and are not having any luck.
Well, I'm on TRT right now, so that means my fertility is just like very, very low. Like, there's some things that I could do to increase my fertility, but like I'm not going to even consider any of that until like I find somebody that is, I'm like, all right, let's do the thing. So, but it goes back into the products that you use, and it's not that you use it one time, but day after day after day, the gel you use in your hair, the shower gels you put on your body, the soaps, the chemicals, day after day after day, like slowly that starts to disrupt your hormones a little bit. And I think I'll have to do some research on this, but I think the testosterone levels have been declining year after year for a while now. And I think after 30, I think your testosterone starts to drop. I can't remember, but it starts to drop a little bit by a little bit year after year as soon as around the age of 30. But that could be a number of things. It could be diet, lifestyle. Lifestyle is going to be the biggest choice. Lifestyle is going to be the biggest reason your testosterone declines, outside of like medical issues and things like that. So, but yeah, I think
another issue with the low birth rates is that people are living longer.
2 minutes.
So we have people who are aging population, 80, 90 years old, living how many extra years, but there's no more young people being added to help take care of them. So these people are getting out of the workforce, and we're not having as much to supplement new coming in as opposed to what is already there.
Maybe that's a big push behind, the robots now.
That is one of the things that robots could help is elderly care. That's actually an extremely, I think, would help a lot, because there's a lot of people who, if their parents are bad, they'll take care of their parent, right? The parent will move in with them, and they'll basically be a nursing home for them.
Well, yeah, it's hard to take. You're taking care of a dependent child again. Like, my grandmother had dementia. She just reverted back to pretty much a child. She just can't eat by herself, can't clean herself, can't wash them, doesn't know where to dry, doesn't know who anybody is. She used to call me Fred. And I
know that feeling, bro.
I was like, I don't know who Fred is, but if you
last one we have here, and I don't think we need to worry about this for billions of years, but this is the one that is 100% going to happen at some point.
Can I guess what it is?
Yes.
The sun exploding.
Yes. Well, not as exploding, but expanding.
Yes, the red sun or something like that. It turns into like a big red sun in that, something like that. And they're like,
so it's growing in size essentially every second, but it happens at a very slow rate compared to us.
Yeah.
But over enough time, it will engulf Mercury, engulf Venus, and eventually engulf Earth. Question is, when it gets so big, it'll produce too much heat to where we won't be able to have life here.
Yeah.
Question is, at what point along the billion-year cycle is that?
Several.
So this is not something. The solar flare is a lot more likely than the sun expanding.
I think we can put that one under, at the very bottom, just under aliens. I think aliens would be second to that.
I agree.
Because that's like billions of years. None of this will even. We probably won't even be here for another billion years.
No, we'll probably one of these other things will take us out before that.
Yeah.
And with that, like, share, subscribe, click all of our buttons, and we will see you on the next episode. Coming soon.